It's Saturday, March 11th, 2023. I'm TC Kirkham, and this is the Kirkham Report. Hey, VC, TC Kirkham here, the Kirkham Report. This is going to be a little bit of a different edition of the show because I've got to be honest, there's so much going on around here that I haven't had time to do a lot. Now, I haven't had anything new come in. There's some news stories I want to talk about, but mostly I've been thinking the last week about what I do, and I thought I'd discuss that with you today. So this is probably going to be a short show and probably boring to some of you. I hope not, but I wanted to let you know what I got planned for the next few months. Hopefully it'll all come together and we'll make it work, and I hope that you will enjoy it and continue to watch and continue to support my shows and my channel. And this has all been triggered mostly by the fact that this coming Wednesday, March 15th, I will be turning 60 years old. I can't believe I made it to 60, in all honesty. And I also have a lot of plans. I don't plan to go anytime soon. My health is still pretty good. After this cardiac scare I had, everything else is pretty good. But I have been trying to do a few things, and I originally started trying to do it in 2018. And I gave up on it after a few months because I was just having all kinds of problems dealing with YouTube and everything else. That's when I first launched the channel that is now TKR Video Central. But I've always wanted to do a few things, and now that I have people that are interested in what I'm talking about and what I'm doing, I think that's really great. I enjoy talking to all of you through the comments section. I've made close friends with a number of you, which is really great. And I enjoy helping you when I can, and presenting VCLT when I can, doing all that kind of stuff. And this year is no exception. I've been doing this since mid-2020, so I'm going on 3 years this summer, and I enjoy every bit of it, and I hope that you enjoy it too. I do have some personal stuff that I'm going to be doing because I enjoy it, and I hope you will enjoy it too. It's stuff I'm going to share with you that's all music related. And so as I sit here in my new Sawyer Fredericks tour shirt, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it. One of the things that I've mentioned over the years is that I've constantly mentioned over the years is that for many years I had my own chart. I did a show called the Pop Retro Pop 25, whatever it was, where I was doing my old chart, and people didn't seem to understand what I was doing with that. They were like, I don't remember this hitting the chart. No, it was my personal charts that I was counting down. That's why we shifted the format, and it became the Radio Retro Countdown, which has been doing really well, and I enjoy all the comments I get there, and I know people are enjoying it because it's related to radio stations. But I am going to bring that back. There have been 3 periods in my life where I have run my own charts. From the summer of 1978 through September of 1993, 15 years, I had my own charts every week. I only stopped it in 1993 because I was so busy after moving up here that I just didn't have time to keep it up. And I meant to catch it up, and I still do, and I'll talk about that. I had another period where I was working for DiscJockey.com, and those charts, right now, although they may change, are part of my chart history. From 1998 to 2000, I've incorporated the DiscJockey.com charts because I was the program director. I was the one working on the Top 40 channel, and so I did use popular music, but I also put stuff out there that you couldn't hear anywhere else on conventional radio at the time. And that was always fun. I did it again in 2010, almost a year. It was a top 50 by that point. And then again in 2018 for about 6 months, or not even 6 months. And at that time, I expanded it to 75 spots on the chart. That was a mistake. It was too much to take care of. So I was sitting here last week and I'm thinking, I really do want to get my charts back up and running. But I want to do it in a way that it'll mesh with all the old charts eventually. So what I've decided to do is sometime in the next 3 months, I am going to relaunch the charts as the TKR PowerTracks 50, going back to 50 slots instead of 75. And I'm going to set it up in the way so that the first week's charts have no weeks on them or anything, and then I will go back and figure that out later. There will be some kind of a show associated with it, probably a top 20 countdown, and it will premiere after the chart premieres. I'm actually hoping, and I'd love to do a hosted show with the top 50, but I haven't quite figured out how to do it yet. There's a number of different services out there that offer radio services, and radio is part of my plan here. But I want to do a show where I can host it and play the songs in order and talk about the artists and everything. Like American Top 40. That was my favorite show growing up. It still is, or would have been if Ryan Seacrest hadn't taken over for Casey Kasem. I need a drink here. My mouth is a little bit dry. I will always be chart-oriented. That's why I have all these chart books. And so eventually, there will be a new PowerTracks 50 up every week, and it will be associated with some kind of a show, with it, a countdown show or something. And I will figure out, there's a number of different services that offer radio style stuff. And there is a couple of radio stations I could record stuff and put up on it. That would be very difficult because I'd have to do all the reporting myself, and I just don't have the time. I work full time, so I don't have the time. But I will come up with something, and eventually before the end of the summer we'll see something like that debut. Secondly, the Missing Years project. It's also chart connected. I bought these Billboard books. This was from the 70s, so I won't be using it a lot, to help me figure out all those gaps in my chart. And I've talked about this before. I've actually had a show where I've mentioned this before. My goal is long term. It's not going to happen right away. It's going to take a while because there's a lot of stuff that has to be done. I want to fill in those gaps between 1993 and 2010, and then again from 2010 to 2018. I don't know whether I'll keep the disc jockey charts at that time as my own official charts. They'll probably influence it, but I will probably make up my own charts for those years as well. So, I kept meticulous notes for 20 years. I still have them. I still do keep them. The songs I would be adding to my chart now. So it's not going to be that hard. But I got to go back through and do everything, and that's 20 years worth of stuff that needs to be caught up. But I wanted to reflect the same taste it did when I started the chart in 1978. It was Radio TC from the very beginning. The songs TC was listening to. Not necessarily the songs everybody was listening to, and I did change that in the mid-'80s. I added a bunch of stuff I would have never added because they were popular, because I just didn't care for them. Songs like Don't Worry, Be Happy and Fast Car and a few other ones that were big hits, and I felt like I should add them, but I didn't. And I didn't really like them that well. So I'm not changing those, but I'm going to be true to myself when it gets going again. Eventually, the Missing Years project, I had originally hoped, I had talked about it in 2018 on my website, thekirkhamreport.com, and I'd hoped to have it done in time for my 60th birthday. But then I stopped doing it, so now I'm going to aim for 65. I don't think it'll take 5 years to do it, but I'm going to aim for 65 and having it completely done, having a Whitburn-style book available, like a download book or something, of everything that's ever been on my chart, all that stuff. I want to have all that done by 2028, which is when I'll turn 65. Hopefully, I'll be able to do it. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and hopefully it'll work. Now, I'm just trying to read my notes here. when it comes to radio, for many years, we hosted 3 radio channels in association with our podcast, Subject Cinema. They were hosted through Live 365, and Marquee Mix, Marquee Mix Scores, and Marquee Mix Classics. And it was all movie songs. Each one had a different time frame, and they were expensive. I mean, I was putting out $500 every 3 months to keep those up, and it was not easy to do. I finally had to drop them when we just couldn't afford them anymore. And they're not that expensive anymore. But I would like to get another radio station online. And so TKR Radio will go up sometime in the spring or summer. It's going to be a top 40, TC-style top 40 radio station. When you tune in, you'll hear some hits you're familiar with and some songs you've never heard of before. Whatever I'm listening to. A lot of Eurovision stuff. But I do urge you to check it out when it goes online. Hoping to have it up and running by June. I don't know whether it'll make it that soon, but it will make it before the end of the summer. I want to have a really good balance of music, current stuff, classic stuff, true classics that everybody knows. It's the format I've always called New American Contemporary. It's kind of a cross between top 40 AC with a little bit of R&B, country, and dance thrown in. And I hope that people will listen to it and like it, and hopefully I'll have links to it on all my stuff, and you'll be able to check it out. But I hope you'll give it a listen when it goes online. And I'll keep you up to date on that. My first priority of the last couple of years has been this channel. I love doing TKR Video Central. I didn't plan to become a YouTube content provider. It was just supposed to be fun. But it is fun. And I don't do it for the money, although I do plan to launch a Patreon this summer. I have had one before that kind of went for Subject Cinema. And we are planning to get back to our other shows on PNR networks too, and they'll be interconnected here. And Kim is actually going to be doing a show on TKR Video Central in the near future. She wants to talk about different novelty songs. And I think that's a really great idea, and we're kind of developing it for her. And hopefully it'll make its debut this summer as well. We have a lot of interesting things in the pipeline. I have a couple of new shows already in the works. I am going to do some kind of a trivia show that's going to be just a basic trivia quiz. It's not going to be hosted. It's going to be one of those quiz type shows like you see on so many channels out on YouTube. We love doing those, especially the music ones and the movie ones. And I thought, wow, I want to make one of these for our channel. People will enjoy it. It'll be fun. I've been working on one centered around the OBSCURIA stuff. And I don't know whether that's going to be the format I use or if I'm going to go to another one. But I am working on it, and I hope to have that up before the end of the spring. It'll probably be on... It'll probably be up the same day as another show, because the only day I don't have a show on is every other Monday. Once Label Nova premieres, I will have that show and another show on every other Friday. So, I have other things that I'm doing, and I don't know, I'll fit them in somewhere. I still want to do so many contests and threads too, and I just haven't found the time. Now this coming week I'm off from work, but we have more stuff going on with the building on Monday and Tuesday, and my birthday is Wednesday, so I don't know what I'm going to actually get to this week. I'm hoping to do some more contests and some more threads and just post them at random. I want to get this office finished. I want to get my studio set up the way it is so I can do a studio tour and show off my equipment, which I haven't been able to do. Show off my whole collection, including my 45s and CDs, which I haven't been able to do. That's coming, and I'm determined to get it done this week. Hopefully we will be able to get it done this week. I got everything I want to do. I just keep changing the configuration because I have this huge new desk that needs to go in here that I have to move everything out of the room for, to bring in and set up so I can move everything else around it. But I'm hoping that that'll work out too. But the main goal is to get everything done and have it up so that when I start doing my shows next week, a week from tomorrow, I will have the new setup, and that's what I'm hoping for. We'll see. Hopefully it'll work out. If not, I might get it half done, and that'll be good enough for me right now. Um, I also want to show off more of my collection, and so I'm going to start doing. Um, I'm going to follow the footsteps of some of the people I watch on Instagram. Katie, for one, also at Vintage and Vinyl, but also um, um, Kurt Bamford, I think his name is, Bert Kempfert in reverse, who actually lives here in Revere. I've never met him. And Yolanda, who is, I know, from Record Crate, and Adam at Record Crate. I'm going to start doing some photos and taking some shots of my collection, my albums, my 45 picture sleeves, and start loading them up so you can take a look at them. A lot of my stuff is, pretty weird. You guys have seen my videos. Who else has the Flash Beagle soundtrack, for Pete's sake? Who else has the stuff from Zoom? Not very many, although Jeff McRockmack up there surprised the crap out of me with showing Danny Bonaducci's Dreamland the other day. I had that picture sleeve when I was a kid, that 45. I had the 45. The sleeve was long. Bye-bye. I wasn't into collecting at the time. I wish I'd kept it. In the album, I had the album, a white label promo with the sticker on it, and I lost it. I don't know where it is. I don't know what happened to it. I'd love to get that back someday to complete my... I still have to complete the Partridge Family collection. I don't have bulletin board yet. I need to do that. I'm going to start doing that too. I'm going to go back and start budgeting and getting some collections finished that I need have gaps in. I have a couple of gaps in my Styx collection. I have a couple of gaps in my Donna Summer collection. I have a couple of gaps in my Partridge Family collection. I want to get those filled in. I want to go back and get some of the stuff I've wanted for a long time. Slowly. I've been doing that off and on. I did it with the Starline Vocal Band stuff. I still have a Fat City to get. I did that with a number of other acts. I'm going to continue to do that and talk to you about it. Because that's what kind of stuff you want to hear, right? Not me blathering on for 20 minutes. I do have some new shows on the horizon. Label Nova, I'm sorry, it's just been the craziness around here. I have the Chelsea stuff ready to go. I just haven't been able to put the show together. And the reason is because I want to do music drops in it so you can hear a little bit snippets of the songs. There are some... As a bonus, Label Nova is a show where I'm going to focus on one label, a show, where the label was a huge hit for a while and then it just disappeared. Some labels have been big for years and then disappeared, like Casablanca and RSO. Other ones were around for 5 or 6 years or even shorter periods, like Chelsea, Private Stock. I don't remember what else is on that list I made. And I'm going to spotlight those and some of the stuff they released. I mean, Chelsea, when it comes right down to it, was around for 7 years and only had 3 major hits on the label, and 3 or 4 major hits on the label. They released a lot of crap. I mean, a lot of crap. And considering who was in charge of Chelsea, who owned Chelsea Records, I was surprised it was so much crap. But we'll talk about that on the first episode of Label Nova, which hopefully will come up this Friday. We'll see. I hope to have enough time off this week to get it done. I'm also working on a show that I'm going to spotlight some artists we lost way too soon, way too young. And most of them are favorites of mine. You may not have heard of them. I'll be honest. I know you've heard of Phil Seymour because I've been talking about getting some of the CDs that are now available of his stuff. But we lost Phil in his mid-40s in the mid-90s, and it was just, he was an incredible artist. I'm also going to be talking about a number of other artists I really adored that we lost way too young, and hopefully exposing you to some new music along the way and give you something to check out, their legacy of music, and that's going to be coming up. I hope to debut that in April or May. I don't know when it's going to come, but it'll rotate on Fridays with Label Nova when it comes in. Haven't titled it yet for sure, so I'm not sure what that's going to be. I've also had it in my mind for the last year or so that I'd like to do an interview show. I'm not sure if I haven't been able to pull it off because I've been waiting until I get the new setup done. I could have done it. already, but I want it to look fairly professional so those people I talk to can show it off as well. But I want to bring to you some of the rising young stars in America, people who I really have just fallen head over heels in love with. Some of them already known to some people, others just barely getting known, but will be. I've already talked to a few of them about interviews, and they've said they'd be open to it when I got it running. And I keep telling them, I haven't forgotten it, and they're like, it's okay, we'll do it whenever you're ready. So eventually that'll be coming your way, and you'll get to hear from people that I've pushed on this channel and my other shows that I really think you ought to be listening to. A lot of them were in artists you should know, and which will be coming back, by the way. It's not ready yet, but it'll be coming back. But I would like to get that off the ground sometime this summer. And it would be just a quick, interview, me talking with these people about their music and what they do and what they're looking to do, and or how they're doing so far. And hopefully that'll come to pass, and come to pass in a big way. Because there's so many young performers out there that give me hope for music's future. I'm not going to mention them now because I don't know, what we'll be able to arrange, but I know who I have a list of people I want to talk to, and I've talked to some of them, and some of them have said yes. So, one of them happens to be an actor who's also a musician, and I definitely want to talk to him because I've been corresponding with him for several years, but I know I have to work around his college schedule, so it's a little bit hard to do. In any case, those will be coming up in the near future. Just some new ideas for shows that I'm going to be doing. And as far as I'm going to be doing some experimental shows too with these different radio formats that I talked about. Trying to find the right format, being able to do a countdown show. I still would like to get Grooveline off the ground, because I really see that as just an hour of me talking about hits and you listening to them. The problem with Grooveline is if you don't have Spotify Premium the way I was going to do it, you won't be able to hear the songs. You'll only hear 30 seconds of it, and that won't be any fun. I want to do something that'll make it work, and I'll come up with something. We'll figure it out. I may end up doing it live on YouTube, because YouTube stuff, there's several people that do live spin shows on YouTube that make it work, and YouTube doesn't seem to hit them with any copyright things. I don't worry about copyright claims anyway, because I'm not trying to monetize my channel, and I don't intend to, even if I get into the thousands. I'll do whatever I want to do. If I want to ask for support, I'm going to do it through Patreon. I'm not going to do it on YouTube, simply because I know I won't have that monetization offer for what I do. Because you get a copyright claim, you can't monetize that unless you can license it. If the licensing thing works out, and it's in experimental stages now, that's entirely different. But for me, it's not about the money. I mean, I'd like to make some money on the side to help pay for my record collection, but it's not necessary. And I really would love to have that happen. And I have my t-shirt shop. I have a new one I'm working on with a different company, because the old one, Teespring, is just not doing well for me right now, and everybody else that uses them. So I'm working on a new store, and it's going to have a lot more shirts than just the TKR shirt. I got an OBSCURIA shirt. I got a few with cute phrases on them. It should be, you'll be seeing it up before the end of the month, I think. Working on those, and I want to make it connect here. For those of you who don't know it, I do have a Twitch channel. It's under the P&R Networks logo. We do run Finding Your Music Mojo on that channel when it airs from my channel. Dawn doesn't air it over there, but I do. This coming week's show, this coming Monday, I hope you'll join Dawn and I for Finding Your Music Mojo over at Two Hip Chicks, so please check it out. Don't know what the topic is yet. We haven't decided. But I do broadcast on Twitch over there, and I will be doing some more stuff exclusively on Twitch. Probably mostly wrestling-oriented stuff, because you guys know I am a pro wrestling fan. I've been writing about pro wrestling for 20 years, and watching it for 20 or more than that, because I never liked it until Kim got me into it when I was 30. That's when we connected up here. And so I've been writing about it for about 25 years, and I wrote about it for a decade for PW Insider. And I have a unique perspective compared to everybody else. So it'll be coming up, and that'll probably be on my Twitch channel. I'm also probably going to be launching a Discord channel at some point. I don't know when, just to have it there for people to interact with. I got to talk to a few people about that, because I know it takes a lot of work to get Discord to work successfully, and Twitch too. But I'm doing both of those, and they'll be coming up. And if you haven't, there's a list of stuff on in my show notes. Hook up with me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Spotify, and on Discogs. You can keep track of everything I'm doing that way. And I'd love to hook up with you as friends everywhere else too. So please, by all means, I've met a lot of new people on Facebook and a lot of people through Instagram also. Please follow me on Instagram. I will get that going really well pretty soon, especially during Eurovision season, which is coming up. We're just about a week from having all of the songs out. There's still 5 or 6 more to be announced. And I'll be covering that extensively in April and May, so be watching. I probably will be doing it mostly on the website, so if you don't go over the website, this is your excuse to do so. TKR website is thekirkhamreport.com, and I will be doing stuff there. I am working on a revamp of that also, redesigning it a little bit, and hopefully I'll have some more stuff up there. I've blathered on for almost a half an hour, and I'm sorry. Any case, I hope you guys get an idea of what I've got planned for the future, and I hope you guys will stick around for it. It's going to be fun for me. I hope it'll be fun for you, because I love sharing stuff with you. I love sharing my collection, my albums back here and over there, and all the 45s you can't see. They're in like 12 or 15, 16 drawers over here, and all the CDs that are still in the closet. I love sharing that stuff with you guys. I love the reactions I get to some of it. And I hope that we will continue to support each other. Don't forget, if you run a channel here on YouTube, you already have a free advertising opportunity. I'm advertising people on Daily Obscuria. I only have 3 ads running right now. Jimmy Barnes, Vintage Vinyl, and 2 Hip Chicks, Chick Chat. I got room for plenty more. So come on over. I tell you how to do it. There's a link in the show notes to what I am doing. And I'm also going to be working on Record Store Rewind as part of this grand continuing overhaul and reworking. So if you haven't watched that video on how to contribute there, it's also in the show notes. And I hope you'll continue watching. Most of all, I hope you'll continue telling friends, you know, there's this cool guy out there. You should check him out. He's at TKR Video Central on YouTube, because I'd really appreciate it. We were close to 500 subs. We're down to 427 last time I looked. But that's cool. I'd like to get over 500 and eventually into the thousands, like so many VC members have done. And I can always do that with your help. If you're watching this now and you haven't subscribed yet, please do it. If you have, thank you. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to share everything that I do. And please leave a comment, because I want to talk to you about things. Doesn't have to be music either. You can leave me a comment about wrestling. You can leave me a comment about television or movies. I'm into it all. And so is my wife, and she'll be here on this show and on this channel before long doing stuff. And I hope you'll watch every bit of it. And I hope you'll help me spread the word. Next week we should be back to the regular format. I don't know if I have anything coming in. I've got a bunch of stuff pre-ordered, but none of it's due till April. I did just pre-order an album last night that I'm very excited to talk to you about, because it's by a guy who, once he hits America in any major way, he's going to take over the world in music. And I will talk about it now. I'll talk about it when it gets here. Although the new single is out on YouTube, and I will probably plug that at some point. And it's his first English language single, and it's going to be huge, I hope. In any case, thank you for watching. Thank you for indulging me. And keep in touch. And I'll see you this week on whatever I can get up. Hopefully it'll be most of my shows, but I will definitely try to get an influencers done this week and vinyl recall. The rest of it I'm not sure about, but we'll see. Until then, thank you for watching. I appreciate your support. I'm TC Kirkham, the Kirkham Report. Ciao, baby.